understand that archiving this content is also really important. What happens to a virtual world when a sim just no longer exists? What happens to content in a proprietary virtual world like Second Life when we can't, we can no longer access that? So today we're going to go down into our newest museum room, and it's very exciting, and I think it's a great metaphor that we're walking down underwater as we think about the future and how some of this content could be washed away. So Marie's going to take it from here, and we're going to go to our Digital Citizenship Museum underwater archival room. Marie, go ahead.
Oh, well, thanks. I just wanted to say that one really good example of that, Val, was the loss of InWorlds. I can't tell you how much content I had, and there was no real way for me to save it. Such a horrible loss, because there are artists there that you can't find anywhere else in the metaverse. So yes, it's very, very important. The New Media Arts put together that shows every single piece that New Media Arts has on that island. And if you're also, again, if you're interested, let me know and I'll give you a copy of that. It's a very nice way of keeping the inventory. So basically, I just wanted to point out that New Media Arts has taken one way to preserve these artifacts by putting them out there, letting people grab copies of them, so they'll be all over the place. And so for now, as long as Kitely still exists, and as long as people are interested, though there will be these pieces will be preserved for the foreseeable future. I'm going to show you a different way to preserve virtual world objects. Mostly the events, and not so much the artifacts, but the events and the experiences that we've had there over the years. And one of the ways that we do that is by doing machinima and social media, preserving social media. Knows her, Numasini Seminario. And what she does is she has her own Google account, her own YouTube account, she has her own email, her own Pinterest. So she owns all of these. So it's one person that the students can have access to the password while they're involved, but none of them can take their stuff with them when they go. So it's all like very centralized now there. But one of the nice things about Preservica is that they have built in many of the metadata standards that allow us to standardize the way we are storing data. Related, right? Because we have media on prem, we have building structure components, information dispensers, and then we have the objects that are support but don't belong in world on the other side. So those we have a lot of, like videos and what have you. So what I did was I created this inventory to come up with all of these for the metadata schemas. I came up with an inventory, and this is what the new students is also going to be helping with, is going basically and cataloging everything. And I don't know if you can see this, how well you can see this, but basically we have several columns here that very specifically identify an instantiation of an object, and as well as an associated picture, so we can see what they actually look like in world.
My big takeaway was, in an archive, smaller collections coming in from the creator, the personal side, we too need to look at our material. The items here on the left of the slide are actual artifacts from a historical society that I've been doing some intern work with. And these things are over 100 years old. Now, everything on the right of the slide, is it going to last? That's been my main thought here. The first thing I took out of this class is, what kind of artifacts do I personally have? And everybody has it. If you think about what you have at home, all the different types of correspondence or presentations, maybe you're writing a book, an article. There's a ton of information. A lot of people don't necessarily remember what they've got. So, some of the risks that your files will have. You got, obviously, a lot of these we covered: hardware failure, obsolescence, corporate interests, or, failures, as some have occurred in the past, file corruption, disasters, death, and just flat out neglect. Now, for those with bit rot and file corruption, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I've had that happen a couple of times, and then I'm like, all right, when was the last time I did any backups? So understanding the state and health of your files is a big thing. Now, I live in a place where we went through Sandy, and thankfully I did not lose anything, but, if you got disasters happening, where is your data? How safe is it? Okay, what is digital preservation? Okay, digital preservation is just a series of managed steps or activities that you need to do in order to access materials for the long term.
Henry Lowood, he actually looked very hard at how you preserve virtual world. Set up your estate, basically, that or your will, to show what you do when you pass away, what happens to your stuff. Documents, what have you.